morning and hello to you. Warm welcome to the CWJobs breakfast briefing, and thank you very much to Richard Knott for inviting me back again this year.
I think banks need to open their horizons to the thousands of skilled people in this country that haven't worked in banks that can help them, especially in a subject like mobile commerce, because where the real cutting edge of that isn't in the banks. I think it is in startups and smaller organisations, and that's where the most highly skilled people are.
One of the skill sets that is changing is people within banks are moving from the banking world to these other worlds, to the Googles, to the PayPals, setting up their own companies as consultants, because what their expertise is how payments work.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we touched on in there was the fact that hiring managers, particularly in the financial institutions, and we work with a number of investment banks and banks that work in the retail space, is to encourage hiring managers to look at candidates outside the normal financial background. So, how do you overcome those objectives really? And that's what we're kind of talking to our teams about, saying, how can we bring in candidates from different backgrounds when you're kind of hitting this brick wall, which is they need to come from finance.
For recruiters out there, I think it's a case of trying to find the right people with the soft skills, not necessarily the hard skills, because I think there's going to be so much competition, there's going to be so many opportunities out there for mobile roles that you're invariably going to be having to bring in people who may not have experience specifically in mobile.
So, they want people with quite a diverse background, so they obviously work with government departments, they work with banking clients, health, so quite a diverse set of industries but a common set of skills, and they're finding that quite challenging in terms of being able to attract those people into the business to work on these projects at the minute.
These guys within Deutsche Bank are going to Google and taking that expertise, because the actual technology of moving the things from place to place isn't that difficult, but knowing what you're doing and knowing about the irrepudiality of the transaction and the legal framework you're operating in, those are skills that people need to set up these new payment frameworks.
The graduate intakes at the moment, they're maybe not as good as we would have hoped. So we are actually helping them learn the skills necessary that the banks require.
So a lot of people are starting to embrace Agile delivery because it does deliver ultimately a better user experience. So if you know anyone who is in Agile at the moment, they might be in a different industry, might have done nothing in mobile, I think it's definitely worth sounding them out about moving into that area.
Over the past kind of 6 months or so, we've seen a real increase in these roles from some of our clients, but without really kind of understanding the context behind it. And I think today's given us a really good understanding of the whole space, and definitely going to take some kind of interesting points back to the team now.